I would love to be on the beach with Tyler. Actually, oh, I found the beach.
Hold on,
Yeah,
that makes
that's-
sense because we're both swimmers.
We are. You're right.
It was destiny.
There was no real reason for us to be swimmers. We just kind of figured it was right.
Yeah, basically Chris found the Gen 2 swimmer, and that one was so great that we knew that we had to use that somewhere. So then we decided to both be old past gen swimmers.
I like the Gen 2 swimmer because it looks like he's directing traffic, but like down a tunnel that goes to the center of the earth.
Yes. Or he's trying to tell an airplane, it's time to come down.
It's time to come straight down into the ground.
It's this way. The ground, come down.
He could also just be directing traffic into a hole. That was the other option I considered.
Or he's doing one of those funky, fresh video game dances that people like to do.
He's Fortnite dancing? Okay.
Except I think Fortnite dancing has now evolved into other pay-to-win freemium games having dances you can get.
I still don't think... It's not the same as Fortnite dancing.
It's not. It's not as... Like, there's something especially and uniquely terrible about Fortnite dancing that gives it a kind of magic.
Hush,
It's true.
hush, hush. Fortnite dance and don't you cry.
What the fuck was that? From, by the way? Because...
I just typed Fortnite dance in the general chat, and those were the texts that just happened to be above and below me.
We need the lobby.
The Pokemon Showdown general lobby.
Showdown.
I typed Fortnite dance in a battle, and then it wouldn't let me type it in the general, like, the general lobby, because I had just typed it, and I hadn't typed anything else since then. It stopped me 3 times in a row. I had to type something else, and then I typed it in the general lobby.
It was trying to protect the innocence from the truth you were ushering into their ears.
Don't
And
you
their
cry.
Hush, hush.
Okay. With that very long intro.
Oh my god,
Welcome
you
to the
were recording the
finals.
whole time.
Yeah, I've had the recording on for a while. We're just gonna start from like when we talked about the swimmer directing traffic. So here we have. I'm here with Garrett and Tyler again. We're here
Hello.
right after the finals. Like, I don't know, maybe an hour ago we played.
Yeah, just about.
And this. Would you like to start with your team describing what you brought, Tyler?
Sure. So, in one word, it's fab.
Tyler brought
Everything,
Stall.
Literally everything, including the Nidoqueen, has a recovery. 5 things have leftovers.
Tyler, the fat villain.
The last thing that didn't have leftovers has no item, so it takes less from knockoff.
Let that sink in.
You want to discuss how you were prepared to beat my Tyrantrum real quick? Because I think that's very interesting.
Yes. Garrett, were you around for that one?
He
I
wasn't.
first
No,
explained?
I
wasn't.
wasn't.
You're gonna
Okay,
like
so-
this.
So, I was very afraid of Choice Band Tyrantrum.
Uh-huh.
You know how much PP Head Smash has? I'll give you a hint. It's
10.
8.
Oh.
Close
Anyway,
enough.
so my idea was I have 3 things to protect. Ideally, I'm in with one of them. I can go for that protect. 1 is down. Switch into Slow Carrot. There's 2. Protect with Slow Carrot. There's 3. Switch into Nidoqueen and take like 40% from it. There's 4 down. Switch into Corp. It has pressure, so it takes 2 from that. Then it protects. And with pressure, it's 2 more. And it's all gone.
Oh my god.
He clicks protect in this match, and I was so confused when he did it. Every time you click protect, it did not work out for you two.
No, it didn't at all.
Tyler, what
Alright.
do you think this is?
Let's go ahead and talk about what I brought. I brought everything I could think of that would most dismantle Fat. I didn't think he'd bring this Fat, but I knew he'd have like Florges, Corviknight, Nidoqueen, possibly Slowbro. That was like what I assumed his defensive core was, and then I
the
also
signature
thought
fat, if you will.
yeah, the signature Fat of Tyler with Nidoqueen there because it's necessary against me basically, and I had to figure out how I could dismantle that because I can't just attack it straight forward. That doesn't work. That's not enough. So I have a Specs Rotom that has Trick and Pain Split to trick the walls. I at one point had a defensive Choice Scarf Trick Slowking, just because Choice Scarf is the least useful item he could receive. Instead, I'm full Phys Def with a Cobra Berry. Zeraora's Bulk Up with an interesting move. Arcanine is Phys Def. I'll go back to Arcanine because I want to tell you what it could have been. Tornadus is Modest, Max Special Attack, Max Special Defense with a Metronome, because that will slowly wear things down. It's the best I can do.
Can you, in layman's terms, explain what the metronome is for?
Okay, every time you click it, it gets stronger. Up to 2 times as strong. It's like 1 times power, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.82.
And that happens even if it misses.
Yes. So I assumed I was going to miss Hurricane.
Or if
he protects. I assumed something along those lines was going to happen, because I knew Wish Protect 4 just was going to be awful. And here it is, unsurprisingly.
Being awful.
Yeah. So my best way of beating that, I had Taunt Life Orb, but I needed the longevity because I don't actually beat Latios with this Slowking.
Mm-hmm.
The way I beat Latios, if it's Calm Mind, is I go into Slowking, I yawn. When Latios falls asleep, I go into Tornadus, I U-turn, and then I go into Zeraora and knockoff. That is how I beat Calm Mind Latios, or I trick it with Rotom.
It's all so convoluted.
The Cobalion was initially Calm Mind 3 attacks with Dual Stab and Volt Switch, but I figured Rocks would be better because that was the only way I was wearing him down. Rocks and switching a lot. That was my game plan. But let's discuss my Arcanine here, because it could have been my favorite one. It could have been the kill leader.
Let's get comfy.
The first set I had on this was Curse Sunny Day Arcanine.
Oh my god. So wait, you would run Curse Sunny Day. Would you keep Morning Sun in that case?
Yes, because in the sun, this comes in on Snorlax as long as it... What is it? Oh, this comes in on like a Volt Switch on Snorlax, and it curses in front of it.
Says a
and then,
bad word.
And then Snorlax cannot 2-hit KO it with a Choice Band.
That's outstanding.
Slowbro was kind of an issue. I was playing around with like Wild Charge, but that does like nothing. I had Solar Beam, but that I didn't have enough like EVs to make that work right. And my game plan was just to Curse in its face, Toxic it, and then I could wear it down faster than it could wear me down, because Morning Sun would restore health in the sun. Because you can't do anything to me with Surf in the sun. Oh, did you run Surf specifically so you wouldn't burn me, so you could Toxic me with everything? That's what I figured.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did it.
So, let's begin this stall match. Should we do it on fast?
What do you... I'll leave that up to you.
I just wanted to look.
Fast is.
I just wanted to check real quick, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. You would have been very safe if you had... Well, not very safe, but Tyler has no Flash Fire or any kind of that nonsense to stop Arcanine once it goes off. On paper.
If I could afford an offensive Arcanine, it would not be very good for Tyler. Latios could kind of handle it, but only kind of. And I don't know how well Latios could handle it. Latios might have been able to handle it. I would have Toxic'd it, but...
one of the Slow brothers also. A bit of problematic.
I mean, it wouldn't have liked it, but I feel like those two could have done it.
Yeah.
With their powers combined.
There's no, there's no Chandelure, though.
But the cool thing about Slowbro is it invites in Rotom to just Volt Switch a lot. And there's a lot of things I can come in on Slowbro with, so it wasn't the end of the world that Arcanine couldn't beat it. Latios would have been more problematic, except I guess it wouldn't because it's not offensive at all.
And yet...
Alright, let's get into the battle. Let's just do it fast. This has been very long.
Alright, let's see how non-offensive it is.
Alright, everyone ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, fast is fast.
So I lead off with Arcanine because that's the only thing that Koko doesn't really do anything to. I set up the sun, and the Nidoqueen is gone instantly. It disappears once the sun comes up.
It's nocturnal.
Well,
Just like its
I want to
namesake.
note that the sun makes everything else on my team. It doesn't help anything. It just makes it worse for everything else. All right, so here the Slow Garrett's face off. I let the Tornadus get toxic. I figure it's better than the Slow Garrett because this is really fast. Let's go to normal on 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So I figured
that Chris would not be crazy enough to
Hold on.
stay in.
Hold on a second. Let's slow this down a bit. We're gonna have to do normal because this is too fast to follow. Let's go back to turn.
Yeah, what turn are you on?
Let's go to turn. What turn is this? Where did I find that? Turn 6. Turn 6. Where the slow brothers are staring at each other.
Okay, hang on.
Slow
All right.
Garrett versus Slow Garrett.
I got it. I'm there.
Okay. So right here, I don't let him toxic my Slow Garrett with his Slow Garrett because I am so weak to Latios. If it's Calm Mind, I cannot afford it to just be able to roost all my Slow Garrett. If it had like sub or something weird, I don't know what he's gonna do. I figure the only way he can have a Latios is if he has some weird way to try and beat Slow Garrett. But
So we
Tyler
gotta
just
keep
didn't
Slow
try
Garrett healthy.
instead. Okay, so now we can resume on 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so here I let Tornadus take the Toxic. I figure it'll get regenerated back up anyway. Doesn't really matter.
I
Um,
always
switched
get.
out to Tapu Koko, and he
if
does
you-
Sludge Wave, which I was
I
okay
Sludge
with.
Wave.
But then he has the audacity to stay in and
So-
do it again.
I knew the only way I could beat Tyler's Fat is if I go complete brain dead against his Coco with my Tornadus.
Now,
I knew this would go exactly like this.
I wouldn't say that's brain dead though, because
That is completely brain dead, Garrett.
well, no, because listen to the logic. If Tyler's anticipating you switching because it's such an obvious switch, and you put pressure on offensively, you can make a big surprise KO happen, which you did.
There was a lot of thinking that happened, but that doesn't stop it from being a brain dead play. Okay, so Tyler sets up T-Spikes here, and the Slow Garretts once again face each other in combat.
It's very tense. It's so tense that Slow Garrett has to leave.
This time I go Rotom. And here's where things get a little spicy. Expecting the Florges to come in, I go for the trick here. The Florges or the Nidoqueen is what I was
Last
expecting.
target was
Now-
Gyarados.
I throw away Garrett 9 because he's useless because he didn't have Curse.
Bear,
And
bear in mind, by the way, that you've just tricked that Latias choice specs.
I did trick that Latias choice specs, you are correct.
Just for the viewing audience.
So
at home.
this time the 4 Garrett comes in. What do I do for here? Okay, here I switch out. It's a very exciting battle. Tyler made sure of that. Back
And
into Tornadus Garrett to miss my Hurricane.
Tornadus hyphen Garrett continuing to miss.
Get the special attack drop. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll go.
I'm not wanted here. I'll leave.
I'm like, how do I beat this thing? At this point, I don't really switch in on it because Cobalion's minus Bedef. So I'm just going to kind of hang out with it with my lawn mower. I bring in the ham mobile for the second ride.
I think that if you were going to be a giant flower, a lawnmower would be a pretty good way to do it.
So here's where I decide that I'm going to yawn the Florges. But that's not how things go, so I don't. Instead, I hit the Slow Garrett for 35.
That's more than I
Neither of
could
those
afford.
Slow Garretts can kill each other. They just sit there and slowly die to poison. That's how this would have gone.
Protect that I can remember.
That was his first Protect. He goes for Roost.
Garrett and
I double out in case he wanted to go into Nidoqueen. I was just gonna cut my losses and get my rocks up at that point.
I'm surprised Cobalion was able to do that much damage.
It's Adamant.
With a Volt Switch?
Adamant Expert Belt. With oh, it's not Adamant. It's actually minus Bedef, and it has like 120 or something special attack. So Tyler here calcs Timid Rotom, and it just I'm assuming that was a high roll. I just kill the Corviknight. So finally I have hope.
Garrett Knight was a beautiful soul. He didn't deserve that.
He really did.
So
He deserved better.
here's the second time Tyler clicks Protect.
And it blows up in his face.
Then Garrett Aura gets a little bulky.
I love
What's
this
big
part.
is Garrett Queen is here to take a whopping 26%.
I noticed that damage, but I didn't notice it was that low because he wasn't holding an item.
Alright, then before Garrett comes out.
Tyler predicts me to switch out because of his Nidoqueen, but instead I just crush his flower. Latias comes right back out and kills another. The red on the Latias is blood.
This was originally a shiny
Tornadus
Latias, so
Garrett
now it's
misses
regular.
yet another hurricane. So I just decide, well, I guess I'll go.
It appears as though it is time for Latias to collect another kill.
Because it's stall. Latias takes 25. Tornadus Garrett comes right back in to miss yet another. Oh no, this hurricane hits. Good for him.
I think it's a confusion.
Hits and gets the confusion. So this is the one that misses.
Yep.
But thankfully
I hit myself in my confusion.
Thankfully for both of us, we both agreed that that is how that turn
just
should have
such
gone.
Immense guilt.
You turn out, come into Cobalion because that forces in.
All right, time for
I need a chip on the
Latias to
Lottie.
take another one.
Latias kills Garrett Balion.
At this point, Latias is wanted in multiple countries.
Tornadus Garrett misses a hurricane again. I'm glad I missed that one because this, with the metronome, made sure you were in range of it. Whereas it could have been like a slight roll in my favor. And just go full safe. I sack the ham machine once again. The ham mobile, excuse me. And then I go into, I go back into Tornadus Garrett and I U-turn out of the season. Whew. And with that, Tyler's fat reign has ended. Oh, guys, I'm the #1 cuddler this season.
Number one
Isn't that
cuddler.
great?
Stand tall, stand proud. You've earned your place.
I finally bring an offensive Tornadus, and it finally does something. So proud of Tornadus Garrett.
Tornadus-Garrett, I salute you.
Tyler, do you have any thoughts on this? How do you feel?
I'm very
Post-game
happy
interview.
that I finally got Latias to do something.
I'm happy you did too.
The only other time I brought it, it just sat there and struggled against you. It had a really bad time. It was sad to see. But this time it killed like all 5 of those kills essentially came.
It
from
basically
Latias.
killed my whole team. Technically,
Yeah.
Slowking died to poison, but nonetheless, that wasn't
That's
the
only
real
legally
issue.
Speaking.
That's like, I died with. It's like, you know how people are with the coronavirus, people are dying with it, but it's not necessarily. We don't know if it's because of the virus. They just die with that virus. That's sort of here.
Wow,
I died to the.
topical.
How do I word this, Garrett?
Current events.
Very current events.
It might have been the poison that killed Slow Garrett, but it was Latias that put him there in the first place.
Yeah, Slowking, dead Slow Garrett died with the poison, but that might not have been the reason why Slow Garrett really died. You know, I personally believe it was not.
I don't either. I think Slow Garrett could have lived if it wasn't for that Latias.
And yeah, just as a little side note, Tornadus hit 2 out of 5 hurricanes. Thankfully, it hit the ones that mattered, I guess. Kind of.
I mean, it won the game. So
It did win the game.
Did.
It just turned a lot.
It spun around in circles and made itself dizzy. And then Tyler ran away because he was scared.
So yeah, Tornadus Garrett, the stall destroyer.
I think my favorite part of this whole battle is it's tied between 2 moments. It's the Giga Impact Garrett Aura,
That's a good moment.
and
I
it's
won't lie to you.
it's the trick choice specs onto the stalling Ladia, thus turning it into a tank.
It definitely made it quite the weapon.
That was
that
a
it would
weapon
not
of mass
have been
destruction.
before.
This was the Red Scare.
Like, if you had lost, it would have been on the back of that play right there. Just like me. Every time with my tricks.
My favorite part of the battle was definitely when I just stayed in there to let Tornadus Garrett die. I had that switch on the side of my head. I flipped it off, and then I clicked Sludge Wave a second time.
I'm telling you, it's not brain dead, it's tactical.
Tactically brain dead.
That sounds like a Broadway song, and frankly, I think this battle deserves to be immortalized up on the
If we
Up on
could
Silver
Times Square.
aim into a Broadway musical,
I would like that a lot.
I would also enjoy that. Like the Latias finally goes to see their eye doctor. Then they can finally aim to hit their targets. And it kills them all.
Meanwhile,
Pretty much.
poetically, Tornadus is struggling to hit things, but Tornadus overcomes its weaknesses.
Tornadus, one of my smallest hams of all.
Oh my god.
Alright, well, good game, Tyler. Hope everyone enjoyed the season.
This was fun. I had a lot.
I had a lot of
good
fun, too.
times.
So did
I'm
I.
glad to finally
It was a great
win a
time.
draft league. Even though I had to make my own to do it.